Kill me or release me, parasite. But do not waste my time with this talk.
You said that to someone?
So I recently, I was playing against my friend. Do you play the Mini? The New York Times Mini? Connections.
Okay.
And Wordle.
Mm-hmm.
They're owned by New York Times.
Okay.
They're games. And you can download the New York Times Games app. And then it also has the daily crossword and the daily mini crossword. And
Nice.
the only one that matters, there's a leaderboard specifically for
The
one
mini
of them.
crossword.
The mini crossword. And I was playing against my friend Lul. You've met him.
Lol.
Shout out Lul.
Shout out
I
Lul.
cheated on final with him and we both got zeros.
Really?
Shout out Lul. But
Lul.
I was playing against him in the crossword in the mini.
One syllable or
Smoking
two?
him. Lul. Two.
Lul.
Two.
Lol.
They're like 1.5.
Lol.
I know it's
Lol.
I know a lot of it's like it can be a southern name as well, but they say
Lul.
Luel.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nobel.
I gotta find that clip. Here, I'll make it my personal agenda.
Can't believe we haven't posted that clip.
Check this out. That clip. Oh, Nobel. Oh, Nobel.
Is he like moaning? Oh, Nobel.
Oh, Nobel.
Like Noble?
He's like popped it into his mouth. Oh, juicy.
Oh,
Are
juicy.
you ready?
Hold on. Nobel new release. What is Nobel the brand? Oh, it is the brand.
Oh, is it?
Oh,
Oh, Nobel.
Super lemon.
It's crazy because you'll experience that this is like
A
nothing
different
like it is
candy?
described.
Oh,
It is not described properly. Wait, Mike. Oh,
Oh, well.
how is it?
Oh man,
It's very sour.
I can't breathe. My throat is closing up. Dude,
Yeah,
so juicy.
somewhere around here. And then wait. So I was playing him in the mini, smoking him.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah,
He
makes
stopped
sense.
playing it.
Oh, man.
I'm like, why'd you stop playing it? He goes, Tyler and Josh are beating me too. His two roommates.
Yeah.
And so
He's like, it's too
I
much disrespect.
added them on the mini, got their
destroyed them.
times, and now I've just been smoking them every day. And then like we'll go back and forth. Me and Tyler will go back and forth, and he'll be like, like one day I'm like, wow, bro, really smoked you today. He's like, a Christian man would turn the other cheek. And then the next day, he's like throwing up. He's screenshotting his calculator with the percentage because this guy's like a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
He's like screenshotting the percentage of his time because he beat me like by like he like halved my time or something on one of them. It was like I got 50 seconds, he got 25 or something. And he sent me. He's like, if you wanted the exact percentage, it's like 46% of my time or something. And so the other day, I texted him after I played Halo 2.
Mm-hmm. We're doing the Halo series together, by the way. Very fun.
Yeah. In Halo 2, he says, the Arbiter says, he's holding the Grave Mind is holding the Arbiter. The Arbiter goes, kill me or release me, parasite. Do not waste my time with these talks.
Kill me or release me, parasite. But do not waste my time with cock. There is much talk.
It's so
good.
gas. It's so gas. Anyway, welcome to Talkbox. I am Matchi.
I am Narek. Welcome to Talkbox.
Talkbox. Is it the Talkbox or Talkbox?
No, it just has to be Talkbox.
Talkbox?
Talkbox.
Okay.
Talkbox.
Talkbox.
Talkbox. Talkbox.
Talkbox.
Talkbox.
Okay. It can be loose. It can be free.
Okay. Talkbox.
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 Okay.
Talkbox.
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 This is
Talkbox.
Talkbox.
Talkbox. Talkbox.
Talkbox.
Talkbox.
This is Talkbox. Yeah. That's not bad.
Not
That's
bad
pretty good.
at all. Yeah.
Dude, it's been a while
Since
we last recorded.
been a week, maybe a week and a half. But we're on time technically. We will have an episode for tomorrow.
Oh man, thank you for pressuring me into that.
No worries.
Yeah. So, well, I just want to say you lost the audio for one of the episodes.
I didn't lose it. My computer lost it. Dude, I literally just opened the file and it just did imagine doing nothing to your computer and then one day you go on your computer, you open a file and it's not there.
Maybe my worst nightmare.
You know what it is? I think I talked about this in the last episode, but I emptied my trash.
Mhm.
Nothing in my trash should have belonged to anything on my desktop. But for some reason, after I emptied my trash, specifically only the TalkBox files,
Mhm.
all got erased. All the episodes, more or
Yeah.
less, all the bounces got erased.
Good riddance.
We don't need them.
Yeah, we don't need them.
Anyways,
What are we talking about today?
I backed up my computer finally.
Oh, we talked a lot about file organization, whether or not that episode comes out. We'll see.
Was that last time?
Yeah,
Oh, that's tomorrow.
maybe.
But if it,
You said something about
So-
the audio and I got scared and I didn't check it.
oh, we did it with the labs.
Yeah,
I thought you already edited it by now.
no.
Yikes.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to edit around the audible distortion.
It'll sound more or less like every other podcast.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe
Throwing
we'll get more
shade.
views on it. I think our quality might be too
Too
good.
good.
Too good. No, so today we're gonna be talking about niche.
Can I say
Finding
something?
niche.
People will buy those little labs.
Mhm.
So like, there's the DJIs, which are like
Right.
$300.
Mhm.
But you can buy
Amazon
like
was
the
20
Amazon
bucks.
equivalent for like $25.
Yeah.
I'll see people recording
TikTok
with them
shop.
on TikToks. They
Yeah.
will have them, but it's very clearly iPhone audio.
Dude, that's what I was
And
saying.
I'm like,
I thought it was so funny.
You didn't plug in.
They're
the microphone that
they're
you're
talking
using.
into the microphone. I'm like, this just sounds like an iPhone. They're like, this is the most amazing product I've ever purchased. I was like, it sounds like your iPhone. The iPhone quality is pretty good.
I think it also records stereo. Did you know that?
How?
There's like two
Like fake stereo? Or
no,
it's
like
actual
real
stereo?
stereo. There's two microphones in the phone.
Cancel everything I just said. Everyone go buy that microphone. Stupid. Stay up head.
What did you just say?
Stay up head.
Oh,
I
was
saw
like,
a tick. Was it a TikTok? Yeah, it was a TikTok of a young Arab guy imitating his dad.
Oh, Rudy Ayoub.
I don't know. There's a lot of them now. This was back in the day. And he's talking about things and he talks about something. He goes like, this is good. This is blah, blah. He goes, this thing, step head. Step head.
That's what the dad says, or the son.
The guy
The-
imitating his dad.
Oh.
And I just thought it was funny. I was like, it sounds like people I know. Step head. Step head.
Oh man, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about niches.
Okay, in what context?
Chill out.
You know, some people say niche,
Niche, I know.
and it pisses me off.
I have a worse one that I'm not going to put on blast over here.
Say it.
I can't.
Why?
I'm not.
Is it somebody you know specifically that says it? That we shouldn't?
I only know one person that says
Really?
it. Yeah, I can't say. I'll tell it after you.
I gotta know.
Yeah, I'll tell you after.
Oh man.
Okay, listen. We're going to talk about the niche that you can get into, either being an audio or video. We sort of got into it last episode as well, but I didn't describe how these can be individual paths or careers. Mostly that these are just like the differences between mixing and mastering and recording, but not necessarily the fact that there's different careers in all three of those in those disciplines.
Mhm.
And then you'll probably talk about some stupid shit like I don't know, video and photo or something, and editing. Oh, there's a lot of things you could do actually. Yeah. You want to start us off with some stupid shit or?
Yeah. I think I always hesitate to like go into extreme detail because
Yeah, no, people get bored.
people get bored. But then the extreme detail ones. Anyway, I always hesitate to go into like extreme detail, but then those are the clips that do the best. So I should just go into like insane detail about what I do.
No, please not insane detail. I'm talking about the niche that's if they want to get into work, what are the different
Yeah, I
categories
know,
of
I
work
know,
that
I
they
know.
can get into?
Okay.
This is for the people.
So, in videography and photography, there's like, I've noticed maybe maybe 4 distinct areas to
4.
get into. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
In photography and videography, let's say 4 distinct areas that you can go into, just kind of off the bat. Okay, sports photography, event photography, artist, like press, promotional photography,
Entertainment.
entertainment, influencer kind of thing.
Sure.
Or like I guess just 3. I'll just call it 3.
Really? What about
Yeah.
like, I guess that sort of is still within like the headshots and like,
Oh my God. And then like digitals and headshots and stuff.
yeah, but what
which
about like
fucking
product
horrifies me.
photography?
Yeah, but you're not going to get into product photography starting out. Because like product photography takes extreme knowledge of lighting and like you have to understand like focus bracketing and
So you'll have to develop a little
aperture
bit more until
bracketing.
you get into
Yeah. I mean,
product
to do it legitimately and
for
to do
companies
it well.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Because product photography is very, very complicated, and it also just requires the use of Photoshop, like to like there's stuff that is certainly edited in product photography. Anyway, but the number one topic that's the easiest to get into, the number one field that's easiest to get into when you get into photography and videography is that third one, which is like social media, influencer, artist promo,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, right? And so within that, you have a lot of people between photography and videography. A lot of people are just looking for video work.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
And so,
Video blows.
unfortunately, I tried as hard as I could to not get into videography, and then people just started hiring me for videography, even though I didn't market myself as a videographer.
It's because you just held the camera.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm telling you right now, that's all the advertising you need. Just walk around with a camera. People are so conceited that they just they see with the camera, they see Instagram posts flashing before.
Well,
their
not
eyes.
only that, I'll throw up a picture too, but my camera has a cage on it. And there's this like talk between photographers and videographers about how a cage makes you look more professional than you are.
Oh, nice.
So like when I put the handle on top and like I put a microphone on the side on the cage and I have the wrist strap, and people think
the wooden handles.
They think it looks better than it is. Like someone could have the exact same camera as me, shoot the same quality of video, but if they have 1,000 accessories on their camera,
Good
then
marketing.
people think they're better, right? So, but in terms of videography, the easiest thing to get into is social media.
Yeah.
Like reels, creating reels. And so the way that I went
Creating
into
reels,
it, the way that I went into it was like at the boxing gym that I go to.
Right. That was a very interesting niche that you got into.
Yeah. Where like it's the intersection of the gym wants stuff for their social media account, for their Instagram account, and also the intersection of me doing sports photography.
Right.
So like I have people at the gym who I've shot fights for, who have boxed, and I've shot sports photography for them.
Right.
But I've also had people hire me to shoot their classes or to shoot them like videos for specific clients.
Right.
And so like the niche there is just like, if I get into, it's basically like the niche of I'm the only videographer they know.
Right.
And they see me all the time.
I was going to say, if there was someone that just walked into these different establishments and gave them like a business card, like, hey, I'm a photographer, videographer. If you guys ever need content, hit me up.
Yeah.
You think they would actually reach out?
Oh, absolutely. Because nobody knows videographers or photographers like that.
Right.
Like I knew this professional guy who works and sought me out because he had contacted someone off of Yelp, a photographer off of Yelp. That's how he found his photographer to shoot headshots. And I was like, this is crazy. I didn't even know photographers marketed on Yelp. But that's like how little people know about the photographers that they're working with, or like their knowledge of photographers. And like to me and you, it's different because at least I have an extensive network of photographers now and videographers, and like it's just like obvious that they would hire someone, but normal people don't know people like that. And I've been on photo shoots like out and about where someone has gone, do you have a business card? And then I go, no, sorry.
I don't have a business now. Even an LLC.
No, sorry, I don't have a business card, but I do have an Instagram account that you can follow. Or
Instagram is the new business card, man.
Yeah.
That's what I use Instagram for. It's like strictly business. I don't post any personal stuff on there.
They do, if you have an iPhone, which if you live in LA, you should have an iPhone.
This is very convenient with work.
Yeah.
Airdrop stuff to each other, messages, group chats and stuff.
Chats. They have a new tap thing that taps.
Yeah,
that
dude, you just
delivers
tap.
your contact,
Yeah, I've seen that.
which is interesting.
It's crazy.
But no, I definitely
instead of transferring something over email within a 15-minute period, I can just instant.
Business cards are nice.
Yeah, I actually do want to get business cards to hand them because sometimes I do want to do that thing where like you reach out to people and you make connection. You can just hand them a business card because sometimes it is slightly awkward if you're not on the really good terms with someone, or if it's a little bit more professional setting, be like, hey, can I get your Instagram or like email or something? Then you have to take out your phone and do this whole quiet weird ordeal when you could just take out your business card and give it to them.
It's a power thing too, where like you're
professional, right?
Yeah, you're not like forcing yourself to get their business. Like you're not like, oh, let's exchange Instagrams. It puts you in a position where they can hire you.
Yeah.
Instead of like, oh, let's put each other on. Sorry.
So you found this little realm of like this boxing niche, which you
Right.
do, but you also work within the aspect of artists and doing content for them.
Yeah, and,
doing like
that's
music video style stuff.
right. And that's the other thing too, is that like that came about because Narek has helped me. We shot a live video for my friend who's an artist.
All
I'll
right.
throw up a little clip. Nice.
Very nice clip.
Huh?
Very nice clip.
Huh? Wow, look at that reverb. Narek playing the guitar. Ooh, who knew?
Not like playing the guitar.
No, so the way that I get hired for artist stuff is just because I used to work as a producer
Right.
and as an audio engineer at the studio that we interned at.
Right. That sort of spread out.
And so like it's all about
And making friends. You were just making friends,
Right.
and those friends ended up being artists, and then
and then they see how
yeah.
incredible my photos are. What a talented
Chain
human being I am.
reaction, yeah.
And so like that kind of thing. I mean, it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing where, I was working I was working out at a boxing gym, working for one guy
Mm-hmm.
who was also my trainer, and then just getting hired by more people. The same thing at the studio that we worked at, where
Right.
like, you just make the network, you make the
People see your
connections,
photos and,
then-
they're like, "Oh, this is better than what I
Yeah.
could do." They'll hire you.
yeah. And then your niche is just like, I guess the people that you like find yourself with in that scenario, they don't know
Right.
anyone else.
But I think it's important to say that a lot of these things came from being around those types of people. So if you
Mhm.
want to be involved in, for example, if you want to do music videos for hip hop artists, you're not going to have any luck hanging out with people who only listen to like indie or alternative music,
Right.
right? Like that is the scene you're in. You have to sort of gravitate towards the scene
Mhm.
that you want to be in, and that happened to us. If I wanted to be in film, I know that I could probably reach out to 2 or 3 people and probably start working within film, maybe within a couple of years.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it just film takes. We'll talk about that in a second. So because I want to differentiate this like example. This is like freelance work, but I also want to communicate information to people that they can go have like a certain skill that can then translate into a job. And I'll talk about this with Matchi because I've extensively looked at the job market every day for almost the past 2 years.
Mhm.
So I think I have a good idea of what people look for and what jobs are actually on the market. That being said, there are a lot of jobs for people who do video and lighting.
But let me just say, in reference to what you're talking about,
Right.
that creating social media content, like shooting reels, is specifically its own niche within the videography world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because you're doing just reels.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the same to say if you were doing like music videos.
right,
Then
right.
you're just like the music, like everyone's gonna hit you up to do music
Yeah.
videos, right? And
Yeah.
if you don't like that work, but you got one gig, and then people keep hitting you up, like now you're the music video guy.
Right.
So you have to be careful on what kind of jobs you want to take on, because at first it's exciting. You want to take on a lot of jobs. You want to take on everything that gives you money and is within the realm of your work. But then you'll realize I don't actually want to do this, and all my work comes from music videos, right? But you want to be a director, for example, or
Right.
not a director. Maybe you can transition into directing from that. But you want to be a photographer,
Yeah.
right? Or a film, specifically film photographer. That is your passion. That's your love. That's what you want to do. But there's ways to get around that. But I want to get into like editing,
Okay.
editing and color grading. That is something that could be an actual 9-to-5 job. Photography and video can, but there's a very small percentage of actual jobs that are for videographers, unless you end up like, I want to shoot commercials and I want to shoot, stuff like that, like union work,
Right.
right? But just going on Indeed or LinkedIn, and if you look at jobs, most of the jobs that you will find are AV engineers or video techs and video lighting techs, stuff like that. So I want to get into like the whole skill of editing and
Okay.
color grading.
Sure. I think video editing is really complicated.
It is. It's like the
Video editing is like it's like mixing. I mean,
Yeah.
color grading is like mixing audio. Like
Right.
you either know how to do it somewhat well or it's gonna look awful.
Yeah, I know some people on Fiverr that I guess just do color grading. But I mean, for the most part, I feel like unless you're getting into the realm of like Hollywood
Right.
film
I mean, they
colorists.
Yeah, there are those people
which
who
is
just do
it's
color.
that's extremely niche.
Yeah.
You're not really going to be able to
Very
find
cool job though.
You're not going to be able to find just a color grading job
Right.
like
But you can like edit and color grade
for
for video.
For video.
For
Okay,
video,
yeah. Sort of.
Like you can work
sort
for a
of.
ton of companies
Yeah.
that want you to edit and color grade their podcasts or their company
Right.
company
Okay,
content.
okay. It's a different form of color grading, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like podcasts in general. But in terms of editing, video editing, it is a very broad market. I know a lot of people who got into video editing just by downloading clips of YouTubers and cutting together edits of YouTubers and
Oh, really?
posting them online.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
streamers
the
and
good
posting
thing
them
about
online.
video.
Yeah.
Not as much audio, even though there's a way to do it. But the great thing about video is that you can literally take anything
Mhm.
and just create your own portfolio. You don't need any clients.
Yeah.
You can just create your own portfolio out of literally anything, or just take up free work and get like 10 reels, 10 videos together, and you could apply to jobs with that.
There's some like really, really incredible editing work coming out of TikTok
Yeah,
and people that are just doing the most insane shit you've ever seen on
Mhm.
CapCut. Like, have you seen the
yeah.
Paul Atreides?
Oh
Dune
no,
2
I haven't
ones?
seen. I've
Can I
seen
show
like a
you
lot
one?
of the anime ones.
Bro, this one it's like actually insane what these people are
A
doing.
lot of the anime ones are so good. I remember you tried doing it, you couldn't do
I
it.
couldn't do it. I
Really?
was
Do you
like,
think- do you think you could do it
I was
at
like,
all?
I could do this. Can't do it.
It's so
Let me see if
crazy.
I save
It's like
that.
8K. Why are you guys just putting this up on TikTok? I guess.
Quiet up and listen down. Nope, scratch that. Reverse it. I give to you.
Duke of Iraq!
Like, what is this? Like,
This is on CapCut?
it's gotta be, bro. Like, do you hear that?
No way. They got the timing on it.
Yeah. So like this dude,
How many followers does this guy have?
hold on. So that video has 370,000. He only has 87,000 followers. But this
Wow.
video, his number one is from Baby Driver, 10
10
million.
million.
This one's from the Gran Turismo movie, 5 million. That movie,
Wow.
this is probably more successful than the movie.
More
And then
views
this
than the
one,
movie
7
itself.
million for Batman versus Superman or whatever that movie
Really?
was. I'm like, I've never seen
That's
this.
so sick.
Insane. But what
don't
you
get-
notice there is that he's not just doing video,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's not just taking clips. Like, not only is he taking clips, slowing them down, picking out clips from an entire movie, from multiple movies,
The timing.
multiple songs, Red Rum and Like That,
Yeah.
but also the audio, because he's going in and he's syncing up the sounds
With
of
the hits of the
Paul
punches.
and Paul and Fade Rotha fighting in Dune 2 with the beat of the song. So it's
Yeah.
like the intersection of being a video editor and having to understand audio as well. It's like
Yeah.
you have to be everything. You have to be everything. Anyway, but on a much simpler level, you can start working if you get a little bit of experience just working with friends or, cutting. I know a guy that's very successful just taking one YouTuber stuff and cutting clips and then posting them online. But that's a good way to get into it, and then you can start working for YouTubers. I know a lot of YouTubers they'll stream for like 8 hours a day,
Right,
and then
and
they'll
the next
hire
day-
editors to cut the content
Yeah.
and post clips to post like short form videos for YouTube, or you can like work for vloggers who always need editing content.
Yeah,
Content
it's, like the whole YouTube scene, but also I feel like just make sure that you don't get into a job and do something because you want to do it, but you don't have the skill. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna do this and you want to video edit, whatever software you're using,
Mhm.
learn it very well,
Right.
so that when someone watches you perform on it, they're like, oh, this person knows what they're doing.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Don't just be like, I want to be a video editor. I'm going to do some of my friends. I'll put together this half-assed portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you'll get a decent job, but then you're going to get screwed when you get the job. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, know what you're doing and be, don't be I don't want to say, don't be like a TikTok videographer or photographer in the sense where like, don't just do things because they're cool. Do things
Yeah.
for the sake of doing it well. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, do things well. Do
Yeah,
your job
and
well.
I get into that problem because I know the music of the DAW Ableton extremely well,
Yeah.
but I still don't even know Ableton to its full capacity. But the amount that I know Ableton versus the amount that I know CapCut or the amount that I know DaVinci Resolve
Yeah.
or Final Cut Pro, it's like I'm actually a baby in video editing.
I still
It's
feel like I'm
so
a baby on Pro
complicated.
Tools every time I go on it
It's
for some
so,
reason.
dude, it's so overwhelming.
Even
Anyway,
though I can get the job done on Pro Tools, I love using Pro Tools. I just never was that person that wanted to know everything about one thing. I learn enough to get everything that I need to do done, and then a moment will come where I needed to learn a new skill because it's required of this job, right? So like whatever type of thing on Pro Tools, I'll be like, okay, I'll just learn it and then do it. I'm not the guy that's gonna show up and know how everything works. I never really.
I think it might be different with Pro Tools with mixing, but like part of the captivating thing about learning your software is that you are no longer like being driven by job. You know, so you were saying you learn stuff for a job, but when you know your software in and out, you can start to create and push yourself and push your creativity.
That's the one thing that I feel like I lack.
It's really complicated stuff that like you only
exactly.
can start to do once you understand your software in perpetuity.
That's why I need to get more into the menus and really understand how the menus work. I know Pro Tools pretty well. I think I know it.
I mean, you are certified.
I'm a certified Pro Tools user. Yeah, I took the test. I know it pretty well, but I'm saying compared to like people who know it really, really well, like the assistants that know it better than the engineers that they're assisting for. You know what I mean? Like that's like the level you want to be at. But you know, it's like you're busy working, and then when you're not working, you don't want to sit on Pro Tools and like, you know, it's tough, you know. But so there's a lot of things you get into video. There's probably less things you can do for audio, but I'll get into that.
Yeah. Tell me about audio.
So audio, I was thinking about the main disciplines of audio. So there's recording, mixing, mastering. I think those are the three main disciplines
in terms of audio engineering.
Audio engineering.
Okay.
And yeah, probably like recording and maybe like Foley. Foley is also another really niche one. Because Foley is an actual, you can actually, I see more jobs for Foley engineers than I do for actual audio engineers at studios. Over the years, I have definitely, because this is the thing people don't understand. There's a lot of audio engineer jobs, but they're not just audio engineers jobs, they're AV jobs. So they're audio video engineer jobs. And they want you to know a good amount about lighting and video, or at least be willing to work in it. And when usually it's audio video, most of the work is video. It's like audio is just like the sub piece of video. So you need to know audio. So the first thing is recording. As a recording engineer, you can basically never mix. Your job is to not, it's great to record like you're mixing. So your track sounds amazing off the bat, record super clean, and the mix on the demo recording track, whatever, it might even be the final mix sometimes. That doesn't mean you're not a mix, but it doesn't mean you're a mixing engineer. You're not getting paid for mixing, even though maybe sometimes you will. I'm just saying this is an independent discipline as a recording engineer, completely different art form from mixing, mastering, and Foley. So you can be a recording engineer for so many artists. Like there is a lot of need for recording engineers at studios. The difficult part about being a recording engineer is that it's very difficult, which just means you're going to be recording someone's vocals or instrumentation for a track. And the difficult part about that is, first, the skill is very fast paced. It's very intense. A lot of people don't have patience when it comes to recording, so they want you to work really fast and do whatever is on their mind. Like they'll have these abstract ideas. They want you to form it into the recording within seconds, which the greats, like the great engineers, can do. And people who have put in their hours, they can do that. But the problem that it comes with a lot of stress. A lot of times your clients suck. If I'm being honest, like most people that I know that are recording engineers, unless they have an awesome client, they stick with that one client and they don't work with anyone else. That's sort of the recording engineer's dream. Is like, you know, like Tizio being the recording engineer for Chris Brown, and then it sort of snowballed into him being this huge mixing engineer. But being the recording engineer for a big artist.
Is he? He's Chris Brown's recording engineer. Oh, okay.
That's how he started.
Sure.
Or that's how he developed his career. But I believe he was a recording engineer at like another studio, and then whatever.
He was recording for like Ludacris or.
He was. I think he was a freelance. Yeah, he was like a freelance recording engineer, but he was very good.
Juicy J.
Juicy
It was Juicy J.
Really?
I think.
No, but he was like a well-established recording engineer. Like, but he wasn't working with one, like usually the big people are working with like one big artist. You know what I mean? Like The Weeknd, Chris Brown, whatever. So that is one. That is great to get into, but just also the pay is usually very bad. Unless you're doing label work or you're recording at a good studio, the pay is usually around $25 an hour. You will have a hard time pushing 30, 35 unless you're with a pretty well-established artist or you're getting hired by a record label, in which case you can get up to like $80, $90 an hour.
When I started, 25 didn't sound bad. In fact, 25 sounded very good until I realized that you were not working 40 hours a week.
Yeah, you're working like 12-hour sessions once a week, or like even if you do it all the time, it's like 12-hour sessions are the only thing that is worth it. Anyway, so the real-time jobs that you could find with being a recording engineer are, if you can even find this job, I almost got this job once, but being a recording engineer or a dialogue recordist for video games or audiobooks. The one for audiobooks is very boring, but it'll be a consistent job that you will make money from every week, full-time salary. You'll probably get anywhere from $25 to $30 an hour. But it's a very stable job and it could lead to other opportunities.
We do need some new audiobook engineers because some of the mixes on the
Not
audiobooks
good.
that I listen to, very bad.
I almost started working at a place, but it was so boring and the pay was so little that I couldn't. It was like $25 an hour, but I would have to drive to Santa Monica every day, which is like almost an hour commute.
Yeah.
It wasn't even worth it. Like my gas money would be half my check. Anyways, or the video game engineer, which will pay you somewhere around, 50 to 60 grand, something
Sure.
like that
Yeah.
a year, which is cool, right? It's like a stepping stone. You'll start there. And then if you build like enough good titles, like you do a couple good games, you can build up to doing like AAA games and you just need the experience.
You know what I heard is that the composer for the first Halo game, or for the first 4 Halo games, Marty O'Donnell, also led sound design
Oh, really?
because they were the staff was so small that he was double timing for both.
That's hilarious.
Anyway, there's a connection there. Something sound design too.
I mean, sound design is in it. That's why I was saying Foley. Foley is sound design. So Foley engineer. So that's basically what you get with recording. Those are the jobs that I've seen. Every day I've been looking at 4 different sites for every job. And the only thing that I've seen for recording is that it's Indeed, LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, entertainmentcareers.net, I think, something like that.
Oh my
and then
God.
maybe one other one. There's a bunch of one. So those are the jobs that I've seen for that. And then Foley, for example, there are some hires for Foley. I see it a good amount. There's just no one with a background. There aren't a lot of people with a background in Foley or Foley recordists that aren't already hired. You know what I mean? Like most of the Foley recordists might be taking up the jobs that are on the market and not allowing for new people to come in, unless it's like small independent companies. But a Foley recordist essentially like records and produces the Foley for film, and it could be anything, mostly probably film and TV, but it's like the steps, the noises, all the noises that go on in film. Sorry to burst your bubble, but they're not from the live set.
The bones
they're recorded.
breaking.
Yeah, the bones breaking. They're all recorded post-production with like pieces of paper and like literally whatever they can come up with. It's a very creative and fun process if you're into it. I see a good amount of jobs for those. I don't necessarily know how much they pay. I'm sure it's a little bit better than a recording artist or around the same. So now mixing and mastering. This is where most people are concentrated in, but there is the least amount of promise and work because it's the most fun, it's the most active, it's the most lavish when you're at the top of the hill with it, when you're doing well. So mixing is obviously, we've gone over mixing and mastering, but mixing itself, you'll find clients through independent, connections. And then you can grow your portfolio. If you get a few songs with good streams, maybe, you can, I honestly, that being said, I've never seen a job for a mixing engineer. I've never once seen a job for a mixing engineer. You'll only find a job as a recording engineer, probably at a studio. And then you might have a chance to start mixing at those studios. Is sort of where it goes. Same with mastering. I've maybe seen one mastering engineer job, but, a very successful mastering engineer that I just spoke to recently, he's been doing it for like 20 years. He told me, pick a niche and stick with it, mixing or mastering, don't market both, because then people aren't going to take you seriously within that respective work. But they said stick with mixing if you're getting mixing work, because you can later become a mastering engineer. But if you want to be a mastering engineer, it's really hard to go back into mixing, because people are going to only hire you for mastering, and there's a lot less work for it, because a lot of engineers are just mixing and mastering their records within one session. So those are sort of the 4 disciplines. The one that is going to give you the most work is probably recording. Oh, I forgot a huge one.
Live sound.
Live sound is the one that will give you the most work by far. By far, live sound will give you the most work. It pays really well if you go on tour. It pays really well if you're stuck with a company. If you like did your dues with a certain company, like a rental company, you can make pretty comfortably $60,000 to $70,000 a year. I think, based on what I've seen, the money that I've earned. But when I first started, it was really, really hard to keep up with the lifestyle. At first, I was packing for a long time. Most of the time, I pack my lunch. I have every meal ready. I am ready to, like, with a ton of water every day. And you could be working 14 hours, 18 hours, 10 hours, 2 hours. But like the setup is always crazy. You tear down every time you set up. You're not just an audio guy. You are an everything person, and you do everything, and you help with everything. You load and unload the trucks. You do everything. So it's really, really mentally and physically taxing. But it is the thing that will bring you the most work, the most steady work too. But unless you become a live sound engineer and you transition into that, which you can, doing that is what you will transition into. But then your life is basically a person who is on tour, very hard to maintain a family, very hard to maintain relationships. The pay is really good, but you will essentially be, paying rent for a home that you don't live in. And that's the lifestyle though. Some people really like that. Maybe you don't even have a home. Maybe you sort of, do Airbnb and then you go on tour all the time. You have to be someone who manages stress really, really well. And you are that person that knows the ins and outs about everything that you do, because you are dealing with hundreds and hundreds of cables and channels and hundreds of people at the same time. And you have to learn how to decipher that all in real time. So if that's your kind of personality, if you're a little psycho and you're into that, go for it. There's a lot of work in it. If you're a touring engineer, you can make multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So there's no limit.
We know a guy that got into, who's a keyboard player, and then he started doing playback.
All right.
And then he gets work as a playback engineer.
Playback engineer, yeah, that's a good one. If you don't want to do live sound playback, you could do play. I actually saw all these, like, for example, I saw we did shows for Megan Thee Stallion, Tyga. We've done like a little Coachella event. We've done Diplo was at one of the events that we did. So we have like these celebrities that come, but they come with their own playback person. Right. Even though let's say we're doing the A1 or we're doing the lead on engineer. Right. So they probably make way more money than we do. They show for one night. They probably make. So the way it works when you get into like trades is like there's minimum prices people will pay you. Like as a worker, I can say you could only hire me for the day. You can't hire me hourly, because you're taking my day away from me. So you will hire me for at least $500. If you have a day rate, it's anywhere from like $500 to like $1,000 a day. So those playback engineers are probably making, like, showing up, just pressing play and making sure everything is going right. You just select the right song, and it's not that easy, but there's a lot of prep that goes into it. But you're probably making at least like $500 a night. Yeah. And if you're a playback engineer for a tour or a popular artist, you could probably have pretty regular work for most of the year, and then other artists will also pick you up. But like I said, you'll probably be touring.
Shout out Ableton for playback engineers.
That has become the new standard for playback. Actually, every playback engineer uses Ableton. I've seen some doing it on Pro Tools, but most people are doing it on Ableton now.
We love Ableton. Anyway, on that note, I feel like we pretty extensively covered different niches.
Yeah. My lasting thought.
Yeah. Wait. Do you have any lasting thoughts?
Yeah. My lasting thought. Picking either video or audio, I always tell people, make sure you really want to do audio. There is very little. This is coming from someone who's doing audio, actively trying to develop a successful career in audio. There is very little work in audio. If you don't want to do live sound, which I think sort of sucks, a lot of people like it, but it sort of sucks, honestly. I think people would mostly prefer to do, studio work. And studio work can also suck if you're with the wrong people. imagine there's jobs and a lot of them suck, and you want to be full time in that. So just be really careful about the decisions that you make. It can very easily be a passion that you do on the side and work with really great people. It's very hard to make consistent money, and it's very hard to find a job that you're happy with. So make sure you have a very strong conviction and you have very strong emotional foundations. That being said, there's a lot of work in video. You will probably be fine if you do video and suck it up for a few gigs and then take on the work. You will probably be fine. There's a lot of work in video.
You know, I thought, my lasting thought, I thought that I was one of those people that had the conviction that was like, oh, you know,
Me too, man.
if I'm doing something that I enjoy, if I'm even in the prospective field that I enjoy, a shitty job will be better than like
the 9 to 5.
Yeah.
That's not true. You go
and
like,
that's not true at all.
you're like, wow, 9 to 5 sounds so good right now. Are you
I
kidding
literally,
me?
I'm like, every day I'm like, oh, I wish I just like, I might just walk over to the McDonald's next to my house and get a job.
No. By the way, I forgot to mention something.
What?
Very quick, I'm going to go over this because I forgot to say it. There's another one, post-production film in audio. That is also a really good business to get in. There is a good amount of work for it, but you have to have experience specifically in post-production. You're not a mixing engineer for artists, and then you're like, I want to mix films. That's not how it works. Or even commercials. You can't do anything unless you have an extensive background and an education in post-production. But that is probably the second most frequent job that I see is audio engineers for post-production. But that pays very well. That will pay you higher on average salary than all the rest of the work, and it's pretty steady.
Let me burst some bubbles real quick.
Let's go ahead.
Sorry, guys. Unfortunately, the best way to get hired or get any experience in anything is word of mouth and your connections, your physical connections. So
you have to make friends. If you're an introvert,
the crazy thing is you're not going to get a job in photography or videography if you don't live where people are hiring for photography or videography. You know, like you can't do photography work remote
in Spokane, Washington.
And so like that's really unfortunate. You can't grow, you can't gain experience if you aren't places where people are offering
Unless you're like a
experience.
wedding photographer, that's a good one. If you want to do weddings.
But even then, no one's going to fly you out.
No, like let's say you live in Washington.
Yeah.
There's one photographer who does weddings. Everyone hires that one photographer to do weddings. The weddings are not cheap for photography.
Yeah.
You're making at least a few
But I'm
grand.
saying if you're someone who's just getting into photography.
Sure.
Right? You're not just going to be able to, like, you can't just pull
Just
up.
lie your way in.
You can't just pull. I swear, if anybody out here lies their way into a wedding photography gig, that might be the most insane thing I've heard of.
It's very scary.
And let me know.
You might ruin someone's memories for the rest of their life.
Yeah. So sorry, everybody that wants to make it happen in their small city, but you're going to have to move to a big city. All right. Thank you so much for listening, for watching. If you have any questions or thoughts that you want to speak to us personally on,
DM us on Instagram.
DM us on Instagram. My
DM
Instagram is Obscure Matchi, OBSCURE
MATCHI.
MATCHI.
Mine is mixing.waves. Mixing.wavs.
There it is. Thank you so much
WAVS.
for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.
Yalla
Yalla bye.
bye.